Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome everyone back to another Call of Duty Black Ops 4 video. Hopefully you're all enjoying your day. As you can see in today's video, we're back with some more Black Ops action. Sorry I haven't been making a video in a while. I've had some exams and I've been taking a break, and now we're back for some more Black Ops 4 information. So in today's video, we're going to be going over some more Blackout information and also some more leaks within Black Ops 4 multiplayer in terms of specialists, new game modes coming out, and just a bunch of new things that are just more or less reportedly leaked, which is always a great thing. So starting off in today's video, we're going to be looking at the Blackout game mode leak. So there's a specific YouTuber who has leaked this out, and also there's a lot of gaming like companies where you buy the games in store. They've kind of leaked out some of this information early, which is great to see. So starting off, as you can see by the screenshot, these are the leaks to do with Blackout. However, the main thing that we want to look at here to start off with is this sentence, the second last bullet point, where it says some people have data mined that there are 100 players in Blackout. These are slots they use for testing, but doesn't necessarily mean the mode supports it. So basically, people went into the game files of the Black Ops 4 beta, whether it be on PC or not, and more or less what they did go ahead and found out was that there is 100 player slots in Blackout. However, not all those slots can be used by players. It means that it could have just been the developers testing out 100 players or something along those lines. However, what's interesting is that if you go over to the website called game.co.uk, which is actually the UK version of GameStop like in America, basically what happens is if you scroll down the page, what you see is these 4 thumbnail slots, and it says best of the best, Blackout, Zombies, and Grounded. But if you look at the section under Blackout, it says Battle Royale born into Blackout as its you versus 99 other players in the largest Call of Duty map to be made. Do you have what it takes to survive? So the key word in there is you versus 99 other players. So what this website is showing us, or this gaming retailer is showing us, is that within Black Ops 4 we'll be getting the Blackout mode, which will actually include 100 players. So not only did a YouTuber leak this out, who seems to have quite valid information regarding leaks with multiplayer and Blackout, the GameStop retailer itself, game.co.uk, on the actual website says there is going to be 100 players in Blackout. Now, there has been leaks like a few weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago or so, where people have also found that apparently it's going to be 60 players or even 50 players in Blackout. But given that, you know, game.co.uk has it on their actual website and they haven't taken it down or anything, kind of just is telling me that basically there will more or less be 100 players, which is always a great thing. I don't think it will drop down to 50 or 60 because they did state that they wanted the game to be one of the best games when it came to Battle Royale. And in order for them to do that, they definitely have to compete with Fortnite and stuff like that. So putting it at 100 players does make a lot of sense to me instead of the leaked 60 that was leaked about 2 weeks ago or so. Now, on the same game.co.uk website, we also have in the thumbnails a picture here called Grounded. Now, under Grounded, it seems to be a different game mode where it's boots on the ground, but basically it says Black Ops 4 is returning to its roots and back to much loved boots on the ground. It's just you and your weapon as you fight against zombies and other players. So this could be Jason Blundell's Rush game mode he was talking about, or something along those lines. But it seems to me it's going to be kind of maybe like a little DayZ game mode where you have to run across the map, but there's zombies coming around the place and you got to fend yourself off or something like that. But it does sound interesting. Obviously in the next thumbnail here we have Zombies, where they're basically just talking about zombies, and Best of the Best, where they're just talking about just grounded multiplayer. So boots on the ground multiplayer action, and that's really all game.co has to talk about. The main thing obviously being that there's going to be a Blackout game mode with 100 players in the slot, and of course the grounded game mode, which does sound pretty interesting. So moving over to more Blackout information regarding leaks, the YouTuber also leaked out more dot points. So the first dot point that we looked at earlier says Cracked and Array from Black Ops 1 have been remastered into Blackout areas. So that is also quite interesting. If you don't remember what those maps look like, this is what it looks like right here, which is the map Cracked. And if we move over, this is the map Array from Black Ops 1. In my opinion, I personally like the map Array better. I hated the look and the design of Cracked. It was still a small, great map to have, so it's not a bad idea making it into the Blackout map, because obviously having the map the biggest that it can be is always great. So moving over to the second leaked bit into this dot point, it says there are doors, just like in PUBG and Fortnite, which can be open and closed. I think the most interesting thing about this is that if you know just basically normal Call of Duty, you just walk into a house, there's more or less no doors. And that's something I was expecting. So having the ability to open and close the door is pretty good, because if you're hiding in a house and you hear someone open the door, it's a bit more tense and you can more or less sound whore around the place. So that's interesting. It says scavengables like in heist mode. So just scavenger packs like normal seems to be there, which seems to be quite interesting. And it says, while it's aimed to have zombies present in some areas such as Varrock, this may not make it into the Blackout beta. So maybe the little zombie areas we won't be able to see within the beta as well, which is quite interesting. And it says in the last bit, you do in fact parachute into the map after gliding in on a wingsuit. So if you looked at my previous videos, I talked about in one of my videos, one of the things that need to be in the game, and I said it needs to be a way for you to parachute or glide into the actual map or portion of the map that you want to spawn in. And I showed some footage of a Black Ops 2 mission where you're on a wingsuit and you're flying down a massive like helicopter thing. And basically I put that in the footage. A lot of people agreed with me, and it looks like they're actually doing that within this leak. So that is very interesting, and that's exactly what I like to see. So moving over to some multiplayer leaks within Black Ops 4. So that's kind of all the Blackout stuff taken out of the way. If we move over to the actual multiplayer, if you're interested in it, there is going to be a new game mode called Outboarding apparently, and apparently it's going to be a training tutorial mode. It's going to feature Sergeant Frank, Woods, and Reznov. And Woods wakes up from some sort of simulation, perhaps run by the Specialist organization, and apparently this may have been cut and replaced by the Specialist story mode. So this will probably just end up being like the little training tutorial area where you can run around and shoot weapons like you can do in World War II and a few other Call of Duty. So I think it'll be something like that. I don't think it'll be anything too interesting, just something for the noobs who have never played Call of Duty to learn and practice shooting and stuff like that. The next we're going to be looking at, which is a long chunk to read, you can see, is the Specialist story mode. So basically what it states is the following are small parts of larger missions. These are what we will see, but there's much more to each Specialist mission. So because there's going to be no campaign, what they decided to do was actually incorporate Specialist story mode, which is to more or less be like a mini campaign. And it says there's going to be a ruin mission, there's a grapple range to move around. I'm just going to move through these quite fast. We have fire breaks, cutscene is the same as what he described in his Black Ops 3 transmission. He's going to be trying to kill his father. Recon's mission, which is run by Battery, turns out to be a setup by the Specialist organization. Crash's mission is about him owing someone money and coming up with a solution to that debt. Seraph's mission is a cutscene which showcases the events she spoke about in her Black Ops 3 transmission, labeled 7.1 Elevation, where she shared how she gained her cybernetic arm and annihilator from Go Kualon by cutting her arm off. And then the Specialists are brought together by a woman who seems to be a typical occult character. And aside from the Specialists we saw in the beta, they've also been developing Spector and Reaper. Spector's been fully developed with a new model. They've already seen it but can't show it for copyright reasons. Here's a mock-up. So as you can see, here's a mock-up picture of the Spector, which apparently we could be seeing within the Black Ops 4 Specialist story mode and as a Specialist himself. And apparently the game also has support for Reaper's minigun, which more or less will be the same thing from Black Ops 3 according to this article. And they've also done some concept art regarding it. So they've added a bit more Specialists, which is interesting. Basically, in my opinion, they more or less have copied and pasted the Specialists from Black Ops 3 all the way to Black Ops 4. But what they've done a little bit differently is that I guess they have decided to give the Specialists a little bit of a story mode and something for us to do, which is always a great thing. And to be honest, that Spectre thing isn't too bad. So having more Specialists just brings more variety and makes the game less boring. So all in all, it isn't a bad thing, but if they could make some new Specialists that weren't in Black Ops 3, I think that definitely changes the game up and probably make people a bit more happy. I'm not too sure. But moving over to the next section within the leaks to multiplayer, we have a section called weapons, and it says they have developed 2 new weapons which weren't in the beta. So apparently a small launch is going to be coming to the Black Ops 4 multiplayer, which is going to be similar to the Black Cell in appearance and maybe a lock-on only. So if you remember the Black Cell, it's basically a thing that you point at aircrafts like UAVs, helicopters, etc. And what it does is it just blows them up. The next thing, or the next weapon, is going to be an assault rifle with angular lines on its receiver and curved iron sights. And apparently this is an artist's rendition of the photo. As you can see, it basically just looks like a normal assault rifle from the side view. And I can't really compare it to any assault rifles because it's only on the side view, and all assault rifles in Call of Duty do look the same as that. But overall, them adding new weapons is also a great thing, because a lot of people have also been complaining that it's a big copy from Black Ops 3. But then again, I guess it was really hard for them to create new weapon ideas and weapon names and sounds and all that stuff. So moving over to the last bit in today's video, we're going to be looking at within the multiplayer leaked stuff is events. So apparently they've been developing variants of weapons and specialists under the theme of Day of the Dead and Halloween, and this will include a Halloween themed supply drop, although apparently this could change as Activision and Treyarch are still making decisions on how to handle microtransactions in the game. And apparently here is an image of some themed specialists, and apparently they can't show assets as they'll get taken down, but the Day of the Dead variant they have been seen is the Vapor XKG, and as you can see in this photo, this is once again an artist rendition of the Vapor weapon. Next, what we have is another variant which doesn't seem to be themed after an event, and it's the MX9, and as you can see on the screen, this is the artist rendition of this weapon. Overall, it's kind of interesting how they're adding in events. They did do it quite a few times in the past few years with Call of Duty, but nothing too great like what they do with Fortnite, where there's a new season each time, they have new events and stuff like that. So I have a feeling that Call of Duty is going to be doing the same thing, but with microtransaction DLCs as one of the forerunners, where if you get something in there, obviously you might get a Halloween themed weapon or something like that, but the only time you can get that weapon is if you buy the supply drop during Halloween, kind of like how the Fortnite stuff rolls. So I feel like they'll probably end up doing the same. But nonetheless, guys, let me know what you think about all these leaks. I think it's pretty awesome that we're going to be getting 100 players in Blackout, just like what I wanted, and we'll be able to glide in through the map instead of spawning up through the tubes like Call of Duty China did. So apart from that, hopefully you guys did enjoy that video. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. Drop a like if you enjoyed, and I will catch you all later. Globe out.
Don't fly around my signal. Don't fly around my signal. Don't fly around my signal. I'll rearrange your dinner. Could be my house, you look like the